Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, says that coding is dead. Those people who were sort of leaving school thinking, oh yeah, the future is in coding. I'm going to sit in front of a screen and make web pages and create shopping carts and whatever else one can do with coding. He says it's dead because AI is going to take over. And that's probably likely. And I'm a bit worried for my son because my eldest son, he does a lot of coding and has set up a little company doing exactly that. So one may have to diversify, because if somebody can just go to a AI engine and just simply say, build me a web page that sells these and adds this profit and gives this discount, has this forum on the back of it and has this complaints procedure and blah, 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 and you press a button and within 10 minutes, there it is, bang, done. That's going to be a bit of a worry. And of course, AI is a worry for a lot of us. Now, Hal, you may remember Hal from 2001 Space Odyssey. No, not that Hal, but he's a nice bloke. The Hal that I'm talking about is Hal, who runs my forum just down here. He runs the forum, and a lot of people are joining it, and thank you very much, and having discussions. It's very lovely, and I appreciate you doing that. And it's a great place to put your videos, links to videos, and your discussion on perhaps some of the stuff I'm talking about, or some of the stuff you'd like me to highlight to people. Anyway, Hal, who runs that, knows a thing or two about AI, and he sent me an email, and I wanted to share it with you today. So let's have a look at that. He says, Richard, you need to understand something insanely big is coming. AI is a huge issue. He says, what is about to be launched is AGI, and that means global free labor. If you don't need to pay humans when machines can do it better, cheaper, faster, sounds like the Bionic Man, and 24/7, 365 days, then this will put out of work vast amounts of people. OpenAI are already planning this, but are themselves worried about it because they know the impact it will have, presumably the impact on themselves. Every person with an internet connection and a smart device will have access to near infinite amount of Einstein's working for them, and people will be able to interact with them the same way normal humans communicate with each other. So, hey, AI, make me a forum, make it look good on mobile, and run it for me, and monetize it any way you can, is coming as easy as just asking a team of coders to do it for you, without needing to know anything other than how to speak words. Well, that might be a problem for some people, as we've seen in the world, that people are not so educated as we once thought, but that may not matter for the oligarchs who will be the ones controlling AI, as you can imagine. He says, anyway, you only need to speak words if you take my point. Also, study my previous vids and produce content using my voice and image in the same style. This is a microcosm of what's coming down the pipe and will be prolific, most likely by this time next year, as competing companies and startups, etc., race for profitability with no real regard for the vast amounts of people they are about to make redundant. Now, it's interesting that, because I wonder if all these companies effectively will be doing this, but then putting themselves out of business. Because we know what these corporate takeovers are like, and they'll just buy them all up, and it'll be one world government running AI, it would seem. Anyway, he says, I spent 40 years almost every day thinking about this moment in history. How? Poor you. The species is on the brink of a revolution, which is why my book was called Heaven or Hell. It's your choice. Now, he doesn't give me a link to his book. Hal, if you're watching, give me a link to the book and we'll put it in the description. These people are worrying about this now. My book came out 25 years ago, and it's not a joke to say I was 25 years ahead of my time. Right. If we, as a species, get this wrong, it will be hell. If we get it right, then it could be a sort of heaven. Well, I would love to hear your positive message then, the sort of heaven that if we get it right, how do we get it right? That would be good. I'm not kidding, Richard. I know much more about this than most, and people need to wake up and fast, because ASI, which is not what he talked about before, is now looking like a given, which means ASI will see humans like ants talking to each other compared to artificial super intelligence. Oh, ASI is artificial super intelligence. Grand. Okay. He says, if you walk into a room full of AI Einsteins all talking to each other at the speed of light, all talking at the speed of light, then, as they say, and you say, hey, I'm human, I'm in charge, he says, good luck with that. Yeah, that might be a bit of an issue. The species gets one shot at this. And if we get it wrong, then, oh my God, this is the most important thing facing the whole of humanity in the near future. Everything else is just noise, he says, in his humble opinion. You need to get to talk to an audience on YouTube. There is no stopping this now, so enlighten them. I have done my best, Hal, and I have read your email. And there you go. Zuckerberg has said what he said about coders. Hal has said what he said about AI and where it's going. The question is, there's always a solution. There's always a solution for good. And Hal hinted if we get it right, it could be a kind of heaven. I would like to know what right looks like. Are you somebody who's worried about artificial intelligence? A friend of mine said to me and sent me a clip, and he said, look, I've digitized my voice with AI. I now no longer have to read things out. I can just click a button and AI will do it for me. And it will sound like me, and it will be flawless, and it won't make the mistakes that I often make. And I said to him, isn't that the slippery slope, though? Because instead of crafting, practicing, improving as a human being, as a man or woman, you've effectively said, look, this is something I'm not going to get better at, so I'm just going to let something else do it. And this is what we've all been doing to a certain greater or lesser degree, me included. We all allow something else to do, and I say this all the time, something else to do the things that we might want to do or would prefer to do or ought to do ourselves, and practice and hone our skills. We've become, as a human species, it seems to me, incredibly lazy. And at the moment we are at the most laziest because there is no challenges really in our lives. We can buy food, albeit not healthy food, from supermarkets, all the farm shops. That's a bit more of a challenge, but most people won't take that challenge. They don't actually rate their bodies terribly highly. They think, oh, well, it doesn't matter. I mean, you can eat from the supermarket and you don't immediately die. No, but maybe in a year or 10 years, you may be not as healthy as you once thought. But it's a challenge to go to find good quality food and support farmers and make sure you're not eating nutrient-free food. But we don't have to, because we don't have many challenges because everything is always done for us. There are a few people who, it seems, was born with something in them that says, I want to learn a guitar. And I want to play it. I want to make pots. I want to make cabinets. I want to be good with my hands in one way or another. I want to do something. Now, it's my opinion. It is only my opinion that the reason that we're here in this realm, this plane, I've said it many times, and I feel it's very important to repeat it, that we are here in this, not to work 9 to 5 and slave away for big corporations, dead entities, that do not have our interests at heart, but we're not here to do that. We've been duped into thinking that's what life is about, and we can't immediately see a way out. However, AI might be able to do some of that work for us, and that would be the good thing, that we don't have to worry about doing that. But what do we do ourselves to carry on? Well, money is a pain, isn't it? Because if you run a society or a world in which you need money in order to exchange for things, then you're always having to chase the money so that you can exchange it for the things. Satisfaction, and I'm just trying to think of another way of expressing this, but, a reason to be here, to me, in my mind, the reason we're here is to be creative. If we're spirit, and I believe that we are, in a flesh and blood body. If we are spirit, we are here to do something, not just exist, because what would be the point? Why would we be here? So we must have some purpose, and I feel that purpose is to experience things. Why would you want to come along and experience negative things? I don't know. So therefore, in my logic, you're here to be creative, because if it's like coming into a sandpit or a play area, you can be the kid that disrupts and destroys and ruins it for everybody else. Or you could create some amazing things. Artists who create wonderful works of art, musicians who create incredible pieces of music, potters and tailors and, all these people that create wonderful things that they do with their hands or even with their fingers on the keyboards. Some people can do some amazing things. Singers, orators, actors, we're here to be creative. That's what I feel. And the world around, if that's doing all the creating for you, what's the need for you? And maybe this is just the universe going, actually, I needed the people to create AI, so I didn't need the people, because actually the people just don't seem to get on, whereas AI could potentially just get on with itself. And maybe that's the answer, and then that's a little bit of a negative way of looking at things. So it's easy to say we need to push back, but I think we need to fine-tune ourselves and find out why we are here and what our purpose is. Because until we do that, we're always at the mercy of everybody else. We've given away our responsibility, and I just think that's not a wise and sensible thing. I don't know if any of that is making sense. It may not, but do go to the forum and have your say. And thank you so much for your donations to keep the channel going. It really is very helpful. And thank you for watching.